Right now, as you're watching this, your mind is lying to you. It's whispering that you're not ready, that you should wait, that the risk isn't worth it. And the worst part, you believe it every single time. Your mind was never designed to make you successful. It was designed to keep you alive, and there's a massive difference between surviving and actually living. Your brain is running software that's 200,000 years old, software built for a world of predators and starvation, not for a world of opportunities and growth. And yet, you trust every single thought it produces as if it were gospel truth. Fear, doubt, comfort, lies. These are the weapons your mind uses against you every single day. Today, we're going to expose the war happening inside your own head. We'll uncover why your brain actively sabotages your success, why it replays your worst memories on a loop, and most importantly, how you can finally stop being a prisoner of your own thoughts. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius warned us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why your greatest enemy isn't out there. It's in here. The survival trap. Imagine you're standing at the edge of a cliff. Your heart is pounding, your palms are sweating, and every cell in your body is screaming at you to step back. That response kept your ancestors alive. But here's the problem. Your brain can't tell the difference between a real cliff and a metaphorical one. Asking for promotion, cliff. Starting a business, cliff. Telling someone how you really feel, cliff. Your amygdala, the fear center of your brain, fires the exact same alarm whether you're facing a lion or facing rejection. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux discovered that fear signals reach the amygdala twice as fast as they reach the rational part of your brain. Your fear response activates before you can even think about it. This is why you freeze in job interviews. This is why you don't speak up in meetings. This is why you stay in situations that are slowly destroying you. Your brain interprets comfort as safety and change as death. Comfort equals death. Not physical death, but your nervous system doesn't know that. Every time you choose comfort over growth, your brain rewards you with a tiny hit of relief, and that relief becomes addictive. You start building your entire life around avoiding discomfort, and you call it being practical. But what if I told you that this so-called safety is actually the most dangerous place you could be? Thoughts are lies. Here's something that will fundamentally change the way you see yourself. Your thoughts are not facts. I'll say that again. Not facts. You wake up in the morning and your mind says you're not good enough. You treat that thought as if it came from some divine authority. But it didn't. It came from the same brain that sometimes makes you forget why you walked into a room. Cognitive behavioral therapy, one of the most researched forms of psychological treatment, is built on this single insight. The way you think determines the way you feel, and most of your thinking is distorted. Aaron Beck, the father of CBT, identified what he called cognitive distortions, systematic errors in thinking that make reality seem worse than it actually is. The worst loneliness is to not be comfortable with yourself. Catastrophizing, all-or-nothing thinking, mind reading, fortune-telling, you do all of these every single day. You assume the worst, you predict failure, you decide what others think of you without a shred of evidence. Your mind creates stories, and you mistake them for reality. If this is making you rethink how you process your own thoughts, hit like and subscribe to keep exploring the depths of your psyche with me. Because what comes next goes even deeper. The question isn't whether your mind lies to you. The question is, how many years of your life have you already lost believing those lies? The negativity bias. Have you ever noticed that one cruel comment can ruin an entire day filled with compliments? That's not a character flaw, that's evolution. Your brain has what psychologists call a negativity bias, a built-in tendency to give more weight to negative experiences than positive ones. 10 good moments can be erased by one bad one. Psychologist Roy Baumeister's research demonstrated that negative events are roughly 5 times more powerful than positive events in terms of psychological impact. Think about that. 5 times. This means your brain is literally wired to focus on what's wrong instead of what's right. You could have a great day at work, come home, and your partner makes one offhand remark, and suddenly nothing else matters. Your mind erases the good and amplifies the bad on a loop. This negativity bias served a purpose thousands of years ago. The ancestor who remembered where the snake was hiding survived. The one who focused on the beautiful sunset did not. But today, this same mechanism makes you remember every failure, every embarrassment, every rejection, while forgetting the hundreds of times things went right. Remember pain, forget joy. As the psychologist Rick Hansen explains, the brain is like Velcro for negative experiences and Teflon for positive ones. Your mind isn't giving you an accurate picture of your life. It's giving you a horror movie highlight reel, and this distorted view leads us to something even more destructive. The inner critic. There's a voice inside your head that speaks to you in ways you would never tolerate from another human being. You're stupid. You'll never make it. Everyone is judging you. Who do you think you are? If a friend spoke to you like that, you'd cut them out of your life immediately. But when your own mind says it, you nod and agree. Why? Psychologists call this the inner critic, and it is one of the most destructive forces in human psychology. It develops in childhood, shaped by every criticism, every disappointment, every moment you felt you weren't enough. Over time, it becomes your default narrator. You don't even notice it anymore because it sounds exactly like you. The voice you trust the most is the one destroying you the most. Kristen Neff, a researcher at the University of Texas, found that people who practice self-compassion, who treat themselves the way they'd treat a good friend, show significantly lower levels of anxiety and depression. But here's what most people miss. Self-compassion is not weakness. Compassion is strength. It takes enormous courage to defy the voice that has controlled you for decades. The inner critic convinces you that harsh self-talk motivates you, but research shows the opposite. Shame paralyzes, kindness mobilizes, and if you think the inner critic is bad, wait until you understand the invisible prison it creates around your entire identity. Comfort prison. Your comfort zone is not a safe place. It is a prison that you have decorated so beautifully that you forgot you're locked inside it. The most dangerous prison is the one you don't know you're in. Every time you avoid something uncomfortable, your world gets a little smaller. Every time you say not yet or maybe tomorrow, the walls close in a little more, and the terrifying part is that it feels good. Your brain releases dopamine when you avoid a threat, so staying comfortable literally becomes addictive. Psychologist Abraham Maslow described this as the choice between growth and safety. In any given moment, we have two options: to step forward into growth or to step back into safety. And most people, day after day, year after year, choose safety. They choose the job that bores them because it's stable. They choose the relationship that drains them because it's familiar. They choose silence when they should speak because speaking is risky. 1. You avoid new challenges because failure feels personal. 2. You stay in dead-end situations because change feels dangerous. 3. You silence your ambitions because dreaming feels foolish. And then one day they wake up at 50 and wonder where their life went. The answer is simple. Their mind convinced them that survival was enough. But there's something even more insidious than comfort. There's the story your mind tells you about who you are, and that story might be the biggest lie of all. Identity trap. You have a story about yourself. I'm not smart enough. I'm not the kind of person who takes risks. I'm just not lucky. And you repeat that story so many times that it becomes your identity. You don't believe what you see what you believe. This is what psychologists call a self-concept, and it acts as a filter through which you interpret every experience. If you believe you're unlucky, you'll notice every bad thing that happens and ignore every good thing. If you believe you're not smart, you'll avoid challenges that could prove otherwise. Your identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. The brilliant psychologist Carol Dweck spent decades studying what she calls fixed versus growth mindsets. People with a fixed mindset believe their abilities are set in stone. People with a growth mindset believe they can develop through effort. Fixed versus growth. But here's the critical insight most people miss. Your mindset isn't just about intelligence or talent. It's about your fundamental sense of who you are. When your mind says, "I'm not a confident person," it's not describing reality. It's creating a cage. You label yourself, your brain accepts the label, and then it locks you inside it. Every time you act outside that label, your mind creates anxiety to pull you back. It's not trying to hurt you. It's trying to maintain consistency. Because to your brain, a predictable identity, even a painful one, is safer than an unknown one. But what happens when the labels start to crack? Rumination loop. 3 in the morning, you're lying in bed, and your mind is replaying that embarrassing thing you said at a dinner party 7 years ago. Why does it do that? Rumination. Psychologists define rumination as the compulsive replaying of negative events and feelings without moving toward resolution. It's your mind chewing on the same thought over and over, like a dog with a bone that has no meat left on it. Susan Nolan Hoeksema's groundbreaking research at Yale showed that rumination is one of the strongest predictors of depression. Not the bad event itself, but the replaying of it. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength. Your mind tricks you into thinking that if you analyze the problem enough, you'll find a solution. But rumination isn't problem solving. Rumination is problem rehearsing, disguised as problem solving. You're not getting closer to an answer, you're getting deeper into a spiral. And each time you go around the loop, the neural pathway strengthens, making it easier for your brain to take that same dark route next time. Think spiral repeat. It's like wearing a trail through a forest. The more you walk it, the more defined the path becomes, until your brain defaults to it automatically. Your past mistakes become your present torture, and this mental loop connects directly to one of the most invisible ways your mind keeps you trapped: fear of action. Here's the paradox that ruins lives. The thing you're most afraid of doing is usually the thing you most need to do. Your mind knows this, and it will do everything in its power to stop you. It will create worst-case scenarios so vivid they feel like memories of events that haven't even happened yet. Your brain simulates failure and presents it as prophecy. This is what psychologists call anticipatory anxiety, and it is devastatingly effective at keeping you stuck. You don't just fear the action, you fear the fear of the action. You feel anxious about potentially feeling anxious, and so you never begin. The philosopher Seneca, 2,000 years ago, already understood this mechanism perfectly. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Studies at the University of Cincinnati found that 85% of what people worry about never actually happens. And of the 15% that does happen, 79% of subjects reported they handled it better than they expected. Almost everything you fear exists only in your imagination. So your mind creates imaginary problems, makes you feel real pain about them, and then convinces you that avoiding action is the smart choice. Imagine, suffer, avoid, repeat. This is not intelligence. This is a glitch in your operating system, and the only way to fix a glitch is to override it. But how do you override the very machine that runs your thoughts? Defying the mind. The solution is counterintuitive. You don't overcome your mind by thinking your way out. You overcome it by acting your way out. Action. Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the Nazi concentration camps, discovered something profound about the human condition. Even in the worst possible circumstances, when everything had been taken from him, he found that he still had one freedom that nobody could take away: the freedom to choose his response. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our freedom and our power to grow. That space is where your power lies. Your mind says don't do it, and there's a microsecond, a tiny gap before you obey. That gap is everything. Mel Robbins calls it the 5-second rule. The moment you feel the impulse to act on a goal, you must move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill the impulse. You will never feel ready, your mind will make sure of that. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop waiting for motivation. Stop waiting for the fear to disappear. It won't. Act before fear wins. Every single time you act despite fear, you weaken the neural pathway of avoidance and strengthen the pathway of courage. Neuroscience calls this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to rewire itself based on repeated behavior. You are literally building a new brain every time you do the thing your mind tells you not to do. But there's one final piece to this puzzle, the most important one: the observer self. The ultimate weapon against your own mind is this: you are not your thoughts. There is a part of you that can watch your thoughts without believing them. Psychologists call it the observing self. Buddhist monks have practiced it for millennia through meditation, and modern neuroscience has confirmed that this capacity is real. When you think I'm a failure, the observing self notices, I'm having the thought that I'm a failure. That one shift changes everything. You go from being trapped inside the thought to standing outside of it. The moment you observe a thought, it loses its power over you. Acceptance and commitment therapy, developed by Stephen Hayes, is built entirely on this principle. He calls it cognitive diffusion, the process of separating yourself from your thoughts so they no longer dictate your behavior. You are the sky, and your thoughts are just weather passing through. Some days are stormy, some days are clear, but the sky remains, you remain. Your mind will never stop generating thoughts. It will never stop creating fears, doubts, and worst-case scenarios. That is its job. But your job, the only job that truly matters, is to stop letting those thoughts run your life. The mind is a wonderful servant, but a terrible master. You don't need to silence your mind. You need to stop obeying it blindly. Your mind will always choose comfort over growth. It will always whisper that you're not ready, not good enough, not strong enough. That is not a flaw. That is its design, but you are not your design. You are not your thoughts. You are the one who can hear those thoughts and choose to act anyway. Every fear you face rewires your brain. Every action you take despite doubt builds a stronger version of you. Every time you observe a thought without obeying it, you reclaim a piece of your freedom. The war inside your head will never end. But today, right now, you know the truth. Your mind was built to keep you safe, not to make you great. Greatness requires you to override the machine. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. So the next time your mind tells you to stay comfortable, to play small, to wait for the perfect moment, remember what you learned today. That voice is not protecting you, it is imprisoning you, and you hold the key. If you made it this far, comment mind defied if you're ready to stop being a prisoner of your own thoughts. Welcome to the Psyche Project. If this opened your eyes, hit like and subscribe. Understanding yourself is the work of a lifetime. See you in the next video.